Hello guys, I'm Matt Shane on today, reviewing John Carpenter's Halloween. So, without further ado, not much to say. Nightmare on Elm Street review and Poltergeist review are going to be the other two horror movies. I want to do at least 2 or 3, so we're in that top 14 movies of all time. Going to come out soon, as on October 30th, hopefully, if I can get it out. Without further ado, go check my Stranger Things content. Let's get to this video. Starting with this movie that I think everyone knows, it's about killer Michael Myers on the loose in this small town in Illinois called Haddonfield. Don't know if it's a real town or not, but I don't know. So yeah, there's that, and then there's Dr. Loomis, who is a doctor that's trying to kill him, and then these set of teenagers that kind of are in the middle of all of this, essentially. Now we have the good, and starting with the good is just the overall simplicity, and now it's just the killer on the loose on Halloween night, just killing teenagers, and our babysitters being a bit more specific, and I think that's just a pretty good premise, and John Carpenter nailed it. I'm personally a bigger fan of The Thing between the two movies, which are kind of his two most popular movies. Also, I like some of his action movies, like Assault on Precinct 13. I haven't seen Escape from New York. So yeah, obviously, yeah, there's that. I think his style here, just all the suspense-filled scenes, even scenes where Michael, like when he's hiding behind the bush, they're all pretty suspenseful. I'm not someone who really particularly gets scared of horror movies, but some of them are like kind of, not exactly scare me, but sort of kind of get me into the mode. I don't know. So yeah, there's just so many tension-filled scenes that I think are very filled with suspense. And overall, I think he nails that. The characters are great for the most part. Not my favorite selection. Personally, I'm a bigger fan of Nightmare on Elm Street, if I'm going to be honest. I'm just going to put that right there. But overall, great characters for the most part. I think Laurie is a great final girl, how she's more on the nerdy side. I think the Dr. Loomis character, I thought he brings, he tells us so many things about Myers, and he's this lifeless, soulless killer on the loose, and how he should be stopped. And I think that those two main plot lines kind of weave together, just work very well. So yeah, obviously the William Shatner mask. I heard they went through like a bunch of different masks, and then this one looked the scariest and the most like unusual, and then they chose that one, and it ended up being a classic. And then even Halloween 2 looks a little odd, but in this movie it just looks pretty perfect for what it is. The Michael Myers performance is great, just the way he's sort of, and it doesn't feel like so robotic unlike some of the other ones. Like Halloween 2 just feels a bit robotic. I'm not gonna lie, the actor. I know about Halloween 2. So yeah, overall fantastic stuff here. As I said, Laurie Strode is a good character. She's not my favorite final girl compared to like Nancy Thompson from Nightmare on Elm Street, Sidney Prescott from the Scream movies, and not exactly a final girl, not exactly a horror movie, but it does feel like she's the final girl. And that's Sarah Connor, obviously specifically the first Terminator. But as I said, great characters, great movies, some very simplistic kills are pretty good for the most part. Not the best out there, but the kill where he stabs the guy in the cupboard or whatever, or the cabinet, the bit is great. So yeah, I love all of those bits. Not much really else to say. I pretty much summed up because it's not a very long movie, even not like most horror movies. So overall, very suspense filled. I think it's a great, and I don't really think there's even much in the mix. I think it's just a great slasher. It's never been my favorite. I've always been a bigger fan of Nightmare on Elm Street personally. I do like this one. I'm not a huge Friday the 13th fan or Halloween fan, so I don't even think I've seen all the Friday. I haven't seen any of all. I think with Nightmare on Elm Street, I think I've only seen like the first 4. Friday the 13th, maybe that's what I'll do next year. I'll rank all the big 3 discussion for later. So yeah, obviously that. Now we have sort of a mix, and there's really not much, but really the only thing I've kind of had in the mix, like I've seen this movie like a few times. I've kind of felt this way. Is that I feel like the ending scene, like the end sequence, just could have been a little bit better. First one, I think the whole bit where Laurie's in the closet, I just don't think that's good. And I think part of the problem is that I've seen Scream so many times, so it just mocks the hell out of that whole sequence. So, and I think that's part of the problem with it. So, well, that's part of the problem with me thinking about it. And that's pretty much it. So, I don't know. The last sequence I think the final sequence could have been a bit better. It's not bad, it's still tension filled. There's just specifically the one where Laurie doesn't actually kill Michael, which again, Scream mocks it, and I've talked about this at the channel a little bit in the Stranger Things stuff, so Yeah. And yeah, that's about pretty much it. I think if I'm gonna kind of conclude here, Blues File Score, I'm gonna give it like a 9.3 out of 10. I think it's a great movie. I don't. It's not. It is one I do respect a little bit more than I enjoy among other movies, but still, fantastic movie. I think it has some great intention-filled sequences. There's some great kills. There's some great characters, and overall, great slasher movie. I do enjoy it, but. Personally, I've never been the biggest fan of slashers. I'm much more of a fan of creature features, even though that subgenre is a bit more hit or miss. When it's a hit, it's usually fantastic. Like, I don't know, Predator, Scream, not Scream, Predator, first two Aliens, Alien movies, obviously, The Thing, first Jeepers Creepers. I quite like, obviously, Jaws. To an extent, you can call it, you can say Jurassic Park, but I mean, it's more of a thriller than a horror movie. And obviously, horror thrillers like Silence of the Lambs, I love to death. So, yeah, overall, that's sort of my thoughts. Let me know what you think about this movie in the comments below. Probably, again, but I do think it's a little bit overrated, but I think it's still a great movie. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment down below. And I'll see you guys next time. Adios.